What would you say is your perspective on having a operator type, a fighter pilot, someone who is tactically minded in higher leadership roles?
You've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt and the coffee mug, all right. And what I mean by that is, I was that ATO planner in Korea. Granted, never went to war, but had a plan on the shelf if we had to go to war, and updated that thing all the time. So I knew how ATOs were built, right, and how they should be built. What's the right way? What's the wrong way? Fast forward, I'm an '06 on the Joint Staff in the Pentagon. I'm chief of the division chief in J33 in of the European Command Division in current ops when Operation Ally Force kicks off, right? And Operation Ally Force was with regards to Milosevic and Serbia, and when the Serbs were taking out all the Kosovars, right? And now NATO is going to do their operation. As chief of the EUCOM division, everything is being handled over in Europe and through NATO. And Lieutenant General Mike Short, and God rest his soul, right? He is the CFACC. He is the 3-star that's doing that stuff. And I'm seeing all this stuff flow through. Everything's flowing through my office. Targets, all this stuff that's another whole story. But I learn all from that. I watched that all take place as a colonel. Now, 12 years later, I'm Mike Short. Right? I'm not as good as Mike Short, but you get my point. Now I'm the CFAC for the next NATO operation that NATO didn't think it was ever going to have again, and had an area operation in Libya. And so, the example I use, I give a whole presentation at the CFAC JFAC course down at Maxwell Air Force Base 3 times a year to 1 and 2 stars on being the CFAC for the Libya operation for OUP. And I tell them one of the important things about being all together, as a whole CFAC or Air Component Command, because we weren't initially, but after a few days we were, was that I could have the Dutch major sitting right next to me, briefing me on the ATO that I'm signing off on, okay, and I know where he's coming from. I know how it's been put together because I've been there, done that, and I've got all the experts sitting around the room. From the guys flying the F-16 CJs to the guys and gals that are, in the ISR business, to the air-to-air refueling and all that stuff. And I've got, my other close-in staff nearby, and I can tell them the importance of connecting the strategy to the task and going through the operational part, and I've got to think at the operational level of warfare, but yet I can assess what we're trying to accomplish tactically. And the challenge, of course, always is to not to be back to be that tactical captain, or that tactical lieutenant general, and make sure that I keep myself up at the appropriate level. And in today's day and age, I use this expression all the time. As a component commander, any component commander, or any component deputy, and certain people on their staff, especially as a component commander, I've got to be able to connect strategy to task and task back to strategy in today's day and world in single-digit seconds, because of the flow of information, how quickly it is. So for me, that understanding of how the foundation is built at the tactical level, how do I then employ that and take that and go into the operational art? And schooling plays a part in that, right? Through our professional military education. But the real part is the experiences that you gain.